You want to know how to control outside forces? And you think everything what happens in your life happens to you and you're just an odd and you really want to know how to get rid of it? The most of the people have the approach from the wrong direction. Hi, my name is Juliane and I'm helping people who are facing a lot of obstacles in their life to get more confidence, live a happy and free lifestyle. Do you think everything what happens in your life happens to you? All the colleagues around you always coming up with distractions during your entire workday, or your neighbors are going to annoy you even if you already moved away. Your friends are always coming up with the same problems, but whatever you want from them, they are not there for you. Whatever it is, whatever happens in your life, it's never going to happen to you. Everything what happens in your life happens for you. And this is the difference you really have to understand. That's the biggest point of all. If you understand this, you can master and control your entire life. If you think what happened in your life, that's not fair, then let me tell you, nothing can happen and change in your life what didn't happen already within you. You cannot expect to change anything in your outer world if you're still the same person with the same thoughts, feelings and behaviors. So you have to become another person to change your outer world, because your outer world is mirroring your inside, your thoughts and your feelings. How can things change if you're not putting the effort inside to change you? Imagine if everyone is doing every day the same things, what can happen? Nothing will change. So you have to get a new perception of the world to understand that, for example, to make it super easy, if you want to, probably you had this experience. You bought anything in red and you immediately see people around you wearing a red color. You bought a red car, you see people having a red car. You just see all the red cars you haven't seen before. They didn't just appear. What happens is you shifted your perception. And if you shift your perception to the things you want to have, you want to achieve, you will get more of the same. You will see all the opportunities around you. But sometimes if things are not changing, there may be another reason. Either you have no clue in which direction you want to go, because life is a compass. It's not a map where you have everything in detail. You just have a direction and you have to find your way on your own. And you won't get the people around you and the things happening around you if you have no clue what you expect from life. On the other hand, people sometimes try too hard. So if you're trying too hard, you're sending another message to the universe. You're sending the message that you're actually lacking of something which you really, really want and which you don't have in your life. But whatever is within you, it's going to be mirrored. So if you have a lack of anything inside, if you miss something, you will get more of the same. But don't worry, here are my 7 tips, SOS emergency tips for you, what you can do immediately to change your outside forces. Number 1 is relax and be aware of what you're doing, because only if you know about your thoughts, behaviors and words, you know what's actually happening with you and where you can change something. Number 2, I love number 2. You find yourself in a situation what you have to be aware of now, where you want to complain or fall into an automatic reaction of complaining. You try to find a solution. If there's any solution possible, focus on the solution and stop complaining. Number 3, if you start complaining, think about why are you complaining? This might sound ridiculous, but it's a good and deeper going question. Some people are complaining because everyone is complaining and you don't want to be the one who's having a solution or who's going against the stream. That has a lot to do with being in a social group and you want to fit in that community. So you don't want to be the one person not complaining, for example, or not fitting in the group. So when you're complaining, are you complaining because you really have no clue what to do, or are you complaining because you want to belong to that group? Number 4, I'm sure you already heard of that. Practice gratitude and write it down. You should write down every day something you're really grateful for. Why you write it down? Because you're even more connected. It's going more into your subconscious brain if you put your hand on paper and write whatever it was you were really grateful for. There may be coming up things which happen only this day, but maybe there are things where you can be grateful for every day. For example, if you have a flat, you have water, you have a dry place to sleep, you have food, you can drink, you're healthy. This is easy stuff to be grateful for, but not everyone has it. The majority of the people on this planet do not have what you have. Number 5 is remember how short life is. And remember how you want to be seen. Imagine what people will say about you if you're not in the room. This is kind of interesting question, because for what you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered for a person who's always positive and finding solution and everyone is happy to have you around you? Or are the people like, okay, we have to help her or him because she always was so negative she couldn't get out of her negative current to help herself? As what you want to be seen, as what kind of person do you want to be remembered? Write this down and remember you. This is the only life you have, so pick your decisions wisely. Number 6, you can listen on all of my videos because I can't stop repeating it. I can't say that enough. You have to know your direction. You have to know you to know where you want to go. If you don't have a clue about who you are, what your potential is, what's really you, not the outside influences, then you know what you want to attract. You're just focusing on this one thing you want to achieve. And this is why it's going to attract more of the same. Number 7 is really undervalued. A lot of people think they don't have an impact. Whatever you do, you leave a trace on this world. So even if you use a plastic bag or you don't, sum that up in an entire year. Your personal life has a big impact. And you have to understand whatever you do, think and say, it may have a massive impact. Even if you can't see it at this moment, be aware of everything you do. You send an information through electromagnetic fields. And this is what spreads your message super quickly at the entire planet. You probably experienced the situation that you want to call anyone and he want to call you at the same time. This is how the electromagnetic field is working, spoken in a very simple way. If you like this video and you want to learn more about coming up with your personality as a brand to find your true potential, just subscribe and follow me on my other social media channels to live a better, healthier, happier and free life.